not saying wave. I think we're doing really well. I have never seen such spirit, except for making 16, the big election 2 years ago. I have never seen the spirit that we have right now. I think the Republicans are going to do very well. I have never seen spirit like we have now, whether it's Kavanaugh, whether it's tax cuts that we gave, whether it's common sense, I've never seen it. And I'll tell you a big factor is what's happening on the border. What's happening on the border was caused by the Democrats because they won't let anybody change immigration laws that are horrible, the worst anywhere in the world. Huh?
They had a bill for this sign, right?
No, they didn't. No, they didn't. Not at all. That's all fiction.
And you still believe, you still trust the Saudis are going to go at the bottom? You still trust the Saudis are going to go at the bottom of the Texas affair?
We're going to see what happens, but I'm going to know a lot in 2 days. I'll see you in Texas. See you in Texas. Until people come to their senses, we will build it up. Until people come to their senses, Russia has not adhered to the agreement. This should have been done years ago. Until people come to their senses, we have more money than anybody else by far. We'll build it up. Until they come to their senses. When they do, then we'll all be smart and we'll all stop. And by the way, not only stop, we'll reduce, which I would love to do. But right now, they have not adhered to the agreement.
You're saying so too, sir.
It's a threat to whoever you want, and it includes China, and it includes Russia, and it includes anybody else that wants to play that game. You can't do that. You can't play that game on me. Until people get smart. Until they get smart. They have not adhered to the spirit of that agreement or to the agreement itself. Russia. China's not included in the agreement. They should be included in the agreement. Until they get smart, there will be nobody that's going to be even close to us.
But if you talk to the Russians about it?
No, I have not.
The Russians say that
I don't have to speak to them. You know, I don't have to speak. I'm terminating the agreement because they violated the agreement. I'm terminating the agreement. Okay, thank you, everybody.
President Trump very definitively saying you can look at it as a threat or not, and specifically as a leading analyst of politics and society in Russia and the Ukraine, and has even advised governments on diplomatic efforts on Eurasian conflicts. Matthew Rozhansky is joining us live. Matthew, do you believe the president? Are we out? Is he terminating this deal?
Look, I believe him. The timing of exactly when the diplomats would send an instrument indicating that, technically the treaty's not in force anymore, who knows? But the White House has taken a decision. The Obama administration communicated for many years to the Russians, calling their bluff. Look, we know you're in violation of this treaty. We're going to do something about it. We're going to do something about it. This is now the administration saying, and what we're going to do is we're going to pull out. You can't have your cake and eat it too anymore. And I think that's the message that John Bolton took to Moscow today. And my assessment is the Russians are not going to just go back into compliance. They're not going to say, oh, yeah, you called us out. Just kidding. We mean to be in compliance. We're back in the treaty. Yeah. So I think for all intents and purposes, the treaty is dead.
Boy, this sure looks like it's right out of President Trump's MO and his playbook. And that's not a bad thing, because it was President Obama back in 2014 who first flagged the Russians and said, you're violating this treaty. It got worse and worse. And no one did anything about it. And now President Trump has to get out there and say, or he feels he has to get out there and say, we're out. Here's what's banned. Anything from about 500 kilometers to 5,500 kilometers, and these ground-to-air missiles. Who is hurt most if the U.S. pulls out of this treaty?
So the treaty was designed and signed in the context of the Cold War, which meant that the United States and the Soviet Union were facing each other principally in Europe. That was going to be the main battleground. And the idea was, let's pull out all the weapons that don't promote stability between the two superpowers. And stability is basically, we can hit Moscow, they can hit Washington, but neither side wants to start a nuclear war. If you have stuff that, for example, would only blow up, countries in between, there there might be a temptation for either Moscow or Washington to start a war thinking that the casualties wouldn't be borne by their country. Now, it's bad if that treaty goes away today, because obviously Europeans will be more concerned. They might take matters into their own hand, maybe developing their own nuclear weapons or wanting to have more weapons on their territory. That's the potentially destabilizing factor. But the real issue off on the sideline here is China. The Russians are developing these systems not because they want to threaten the Europeans or Americans. It's because they want to deter the Chinese, right? This is their kind of frenemy of a partner in Beijing. And China, as a matter of geography, is in an intermediate range from Russian territory.